Good, thanks. Thanks so much for joining us today. Wahyu Taufik, it's really pleasure to welcome you to our virtual channel and to have the opportunity to see you again after a little while. Wahyu,
Yes, sure.
I know it's been a few months since we first met, but I have to say I've been really inspired by your work as the founder of DIY Academy and entrepreneur. Also, I think one of the strongest and most inspiring voices here in Indonesia advocating for digital nomads and for the value of a digital nomad visa here in Indonesia. So Wahyu, I wonder if you could just introduce yourself briefly, your work, and maybe to start us off too, it strikes me that there are a lot of stereotypes and maybe misconceptions about what a digital nomad is. How would you define that term?
Yeah, my name is Wahyu. Thank you again for the invitation. I would say that I do multiple things, but my current focus is on impact investment fund management. So I run my own company, investment consulting company, as well as law firm that is helping startup to relocate in Bali or in Indonesia. And speaking about your question, a lot of people actually are confused about what the digital nomad is, especially in Indonesia and especially for public officials. In fact, just yesterday, I was invited by the head of intelligence officer from Ngurah Rai Immigration in Bali, Jimbaran, and we discussed a lot of things about digital nomad. And the result of our discussion, we will form focus discussion forum like or a think tank, and from here we would like to bring this to the next level, how we will be able to find the best way to design public policy that can be win-win for government, local businesses, and foreigners who identify themselves as digital nomads or remote professionals. So I told them that digital nomad is not a profession. Digital nomad is a community, it's a lifestyle, and also it's a movement or it's a new trend. So my goal personally, and I also try to be on the same page with public officials that I have met. Our goal as Indonesian, be it as private sector or public sector, we would like to make Indonesia as one of the best destination for working and vacation, or we call it workation, because since COVID happened, we cannot travel in a short time. I think the new trend for the travel industry will be long-term travel. So as Indonesia is the biggest archipelago country, we have so many beautiful islands, beaches. Why don't we really capture this as a new positioning of our country and make our country, Indonesia, as the best destination for vacation. And also, in fact, the biggest GDP of Indonesia is still from tourism for the last couple of years. So yeah.
Well, to your point, Wahyu, it seems like Bali is one of the more popular destinations for digital nomads on a global scale. And I
Yeah.
wonder, from your experiences, since you've spent a lot of time there and worked very closely with the digital nomad community there, can you tell us a little bit about what the digital nomad community can contribute to a place like Bali, a place like Indonesia? Why
Mm.
would a digital nomad visa be good for Indonesia?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Actually, we can speak specifically for Bali, and we can speak generally for Indonesia. Let's start by speaking specifically for Bali. Bali relies so heavily on tourism, and when tourism dies, the economy in Bali collapses, and it's very hard transitioning for Bali economically from tourism to transition to non-tourism industry. So I believe that this is the good wake-up call for Bali, so that Bali has to diversify its economic model, and but at the same time we should not neglect the potential that we have, meaning that yes, we can still leverage tourism if we have the right regulation and if we have the right protocol after COVID, right? So I think the best tourism model for Bali is to be able to build sustainable tourism model. So if in fact Bali is well known as the place for people who are looking for their spirituality, learn about sustainability, learn about nature, learn about culture, and a lot of vegetarian and vegan restaurants here in Bali. So when people come to Bali, it's all about lifestyle. They wanna have work-life balance and a good lifestyle between work and the quality of life. So this is very big potential for Indonesia itself and for Bali particularly. That's why I think digital nomad visa will play important role because we will be able to attract professional people who work digitally, remotely, and with that profession alone, they have a different skill set. And what government wants to see from foreign investment or foreign capital are usually two things. Number one is to create job opportunities as many as possible to the local people. Number two is the knowledge and technology transfer and attracting people like digital nomads and remote professionals. This is the best way to do these two things. And if government will, make the regulation more efficient, more clear also in terms of what's not legal, what's allowed, what's not allowed. I think there will be a lot of good quality of digital nomads and remote professionals that want to come to Bali because Bali is also, I think, stated by Lonely Planet or one of the travel magazine as number one or top three or top five the most desired destination to visit after COVID. And speaking about Indonesia, in a more general term, like Indonesia as a country, Bali as part of Indonesia. So Indonesia has so many islands. We have like beaches that have pink sand. We have beaches that have, like beautiful, beautiful beaches that you can see on the postcard. Usually, if you go travel. And why don't we optimize our resources in Indonesia? Because we are archipelago countries, which means that we are blessed to have these beautiful islands that can be promoted as the best tourism destination. So Bali can be the gateway. Bali can be the first gate, and then from Bali, they can spread out to Indonesia. And I also propose to the government maybe we can make Bali a special economic zone. So in terms of that special economic zone, that's another topic that we will discuss.
It sounds like this is an effort that has gone in many different directions because the effort to get a digital nomad visa is a lot more complicated than just what one person or one government official has the ability to decide, right? I'm wondering, given that you've been working with multiple entities within government, also within business, both here in Indonesia and internationally, do you have a message for those in government or those in decision-making positions who can make something like a digital nomad visa a reality? Is there something that you would like to say to them or you would like for them to consider?
Yes, dear bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu yang terhormat. For those who are sitting on the government, I think it's the best time now to involve private sector when it comes to designing public policy. So it's the best time today, now more than ever, I think, after COVID, to be able to enhance PPP, private-public partnership, so that when government designs public policy, it will be aligned with the interests of private sectors. I believe that government is as a regulator and private sectors is operator. So if these both vehicles cannot, work together parallelly, our country is not be able to progress. So basically, as a regulator, it has to regulate things that can make operators work easily, effectively, efficiently, and also innovatively. So I think it's time for us to be able to think about public policies designing process innovatively. So when we design public policy, it's not from one perspective, but also it's so important to involve another, or to get another perspective and involve such as private sectors, so that the public policies can serve and work the best way to serve to work the best way to serve all of us as a country, not just to serve government as well as to serve its citizens, in this case, private sectors. So I think the way we do public policy designing, we cannot keep the old system. So we have to have new system, new mindset, so that the world after COVID is very disruptive, and we are living in fully uncertain time. So when we live in this uncertain time, we have to be really agile, we have to be really innovative, we have to be really creative. And in Indonesian government system, unfortunately, it's very still bureaucratically heavy. Like you have to talk to this department, to that ministry, to this department, and we can simplify that actually with the technology. So us as a private sectors, we can help with that. So for example, if you ask me to build AI or machine learning technology for government to be able to provide solution, we can do that. My background is a software engineer, and also I have a software company. So it's not my intention to promote my company, but my point is that why don't we sit together as a private sector and public sector and try to find out what is actually the critical problems, and then we together will be able to find a solution for that, and we will be able to build and provide that solution for greater good for all of us as a nation.
Thank you, Wahyu. Before I let you go, since you brought up COVID, I would like to get your thoughts on one final question. I'm curious to know if you have any predictions for what's going to happen with the digital nomad community post-COVID, or what are you seeing in terms of how this community of people has changed or is changing since the months when the pandemic first started?
Well, I cannot just answer that with one certain fixed question, answer, but what I would say is that I think the world in general will change, and in terms of digital nomad community, I think people will like to have, I would say, second base home, right? So with all these digital nomads, they have their own country, but then I think the thing is with Indonesia, we are blessed to be in a equator and being in tropical climate. So for so many people out there who live in cold countries, they really would like to escape from hardcore lockdown and then to be able to live by the beach under the sun under this tropical climate, and they would like to have this second home base. And for post-COVID, I think if we speak about humanity, it's more needed than ever for us to be able to work together, come together, unite as a human, to be able to work collaboratively regardless of your nationality, and to be able to basically provide solutions that can solve our problems starting from our regional problems. So a lot of digital nomads actually they're very socially aware people. So when they are in Bali, they always ask me, "Hey Wahyu, how can I do social events, charity events without having to break the law?" So that's why I personally set up Yayasan Digital Nomad Indonesia or Digital Nomad Indonesia Foundation and Digital Nomad International Association as a legal entity, as a vehicle, as a legal platform to be able to provide opportunity for locals and expats, in this case, digital nomad community people, to be able to execute and launch some social initiative. So this is as a proof where a lot of these expats and digital nomads are very socially aware. And also on top of that, we are building crowdfunding platform that can also help SMEs And a lot of digital nomads that I met here in Bali, they're willing to be involved financially or to be involved by providing resources to build our platform. So I feel like the world after COVID, people just come together and people are united, you know, like before COVID, it's like they live their own bubble. The expats, they live in their own bubble. The locals, they live in their own bubble. And then there's nothing in between meeting in the middle, you know. But now everyone is just like looking forward to working together. Doesn't matter if you're local, doesn't matter if you're expat, doesn't matter your status is where you're from. So I think we need now the clear regulation for them. I mean, for these foreigners who identify themselves as digital nomad, and as a local people and local business, we need also the local economy to circulate, right? And as Bali still heavily relies on tourism, I think it makes sense for Bali to be able to still attract tourists, but with, let's say, tourist 2.0 instead of tourist 1.0. So tourist 2.0 is those who brings values, knowledge, technology transfers, those who bring potential financial spendings or values by incorporating their company here, by doing business with the local partners here, by developing certain projects here. And those who are looking to stay long-term in Bali between 6 months to 2 years. So I think this is the best time for Bali to go to the next level when it comes to transforming their tourism into sustainable tourism model. Yeah.
Thank you, Wahyu Taufik of Digital Nomad Indonesia. Really a pleasure seeing you today. Thank you so much for sharing your perspectives and your experience with us, and good luck to you with all of your projects. Too many to name, but yeah, look forward to seeing you again, hopefully in Bali.
Yes, yes, looking forward to seeing you in Bali or maybe in Surabaya. I
Yeah,
come to Surabaya sometimes.
there you go. Take care, Wahyu. Thank you so much.
Take care. Take
Have a great
care.